I'm going to show you how I get a nice candy finish like this on any raw metal part using Dupli-color's spray paint in a can metal cast so that you can get some fantastic finishes on your projects.
My name is Eric Strebel. I'm an industrial designer. Welcome to my channel about product design and making. I hope that you like, enjoy, and become a subscriber. Part of my workflow for creating YouTube videos involves massive amounts of data, of course, and I store them on these two G Drive Thunderbolt 3 RAID drives, and they look exactly the same. So I need to paint one so that I can tell the difference between the two. One of them houses current projects, and the one below it houses past projects. And I swap them back and forth all the time depending upon what projects that I'm doing and if I have to move them to record audio. So I need to be able to differentiate one from the other so that I can grab the right one if I need to take it and move it off my desk. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dismantle the one unit that we're going to paint. We're going to take out the drives and take it apart. Yeah, I'm totally voiding the warranty on my kit. No big deal. I bought it used and I put in some Western Digital black drives, and so I don't think it's under warranty anyway. One of the things that people complain about these drives is that the front LED here where the logo is emits a ton of light, so I'm going to paint that as well, and we'll make that orange translucent. This paint is perfect for that because it's basically clear coat with some tint in it to give you that metal or that candy look. I'm going to tape off the label on the bottom because I want to keep that visible or legible. That's got the serial number and model number and all that information. So we're going to leave that intact and we'll tape it off. So we want to remove any foreign contaminants that are on this metal part because we are painting a raw metal part. So I'm going to use a little denatured alcohol here on a microfiber cloth, and I'm going to wipe down the metal extruded exterior of this G drive. So I think that this denatured alcohol is going to work really well to give me a nice finish, and I spend a fair amount of time wiping it down. I even have a latex glove on so that I don't get any marks onto the part. But as you'll see, I end up having a problem for some reason. So I'm not entirely sure why this happens. There may have been some contaminant on the glove itself, but I'm not entirely sure. So we got our can, and with any rattle can, you want to mix it up really good so that you hear that ball in the bottom rattling around, and then you can mix the solids with the solvent inside the can. So we're going to spray down some light coats, and oh shit, check out those finger marks. Luckily, we're painting the bottom first. So we're going to stop and we're going to take care of that. We're going to remove the paint either with some lacquer thinner or some acetone, depending upon what paint you're using, anything to remove that and strip it down. Now, I'm going to wipe down the entire part again with some wax and grease degreaser. So this is specifically formulated for painters, and it's made to remove wax and grease. We're laying down some light, thin coats. That's my strategy for this. Like I said, this is a clear coat with some tint in it. This is not opaque paint. So laying down your paint in coats or layers is probably going to be your best bet. This is tricky to paint, this stuff, because it is not opaque and you can sort of see the streaks or the layers that you put down or the rows that you put down. I start on the bottom, or what is the bottom of this unit first, and then I have some overspray that runs over the side. So that way when I flip it over, I can then paint the top and then come down the sides. And I'm also painting the edges, the visible edges of the unit here. Notice also that I have it on a Lazy Susan on a turntable, and you can buy those at your local grocery store for pretty cheap. They're fantastic for painting little parts like this. And it allows me to rotate the part and get a good even spray everywhere I want. While we're letting the bottom dry, let's go ahead and spray paint the little lit up LED logo. We're going to paint it from the back first, let that dry and flip it over, and then paint it from the front. Now that the main housing has dried, we're going to come back and we're going to spray paint that. We're going to concentrate and focus on the top first to kind of build that up to the same level that the sides are on. Now, a lot of times people use this on top of a silver base coat, and that's traditionally what you would do on a candy. Obviously, this is a sandblasted aluminum finish, so I am not putting down a silver base coat first. But if you had a part that was not silver, you'd want to lay down a silver base coat first. I'm trying to build up all the surfaces so that they are the same, so that I can come in with one final coat and coat the top three surfaces that you can see here in a nice uniform kind of way. This paint is very thin because it again is a clear coat with some tint. It is super easy to get this stuff to run, so be very careful. And here you can really see laying on the paint, maybe even a little bit too thick. You really want to be careful here so that you do not get any drips down the sides. Rotate it, and I'm coming back on the other side to get that nice final kind of beautiful candy orange finish on top of my metal. All right, if you're curious about my spray booth, I have a video about that. It's made out of foam core with a really nice quality fan, and I'll link to that above here on the right. I'm just going through, touching up any of the little edges that are exposed to make them uniform as well, so that we don't have any funny little marks. You can see a little spot down there at the bottom. That's a tough thing to get. All right, one final coat over the entire thing to get something nice and uniform, making it look nice and pretty. And then I leave it in the rattle can finish without a clear coat. I like that. Let's turn our attention back to the little logo piece that's had a chance to dry on the backside. So now we're going to hit that in the front with the candy orange. And this, of course, is going to allow the light to travel through the front. Again, just like we've been doing in the past, you want to build up nice light coats on your project. In this case, the little plastic part. And that goes for anything that you're spraying, nice light coats. Build up those coats instead of laying them down in one big, heavy, thick coat. You're going to have much more success in the long run with whatever you're painting. Now that everything's had a chance to dry and flash, it's time to reassemble the unit. This project has taken me about a half a day to paint everything. I like how fast the paint dries and flashes and then is ready to be handled. It works pretty quick. We'll put the light shield back around the plastic so that no light can leak around the logo. And we'll put the metal mesh grill back on the flip down door. And we'll go to reassemble the rest of the G-Drive RAID unit. Let's put it back together the same way we took it apart.
I did have a couple of fisheyes, one right here and then one right here. It means I didn't clean it good enough. I've also noticed a little bit of chipping here and in the front of the unit. Not a big deal for me, as I really kind of like that whole distressed Boba Fett kind of look. But if you don't, I suggest a nice, good clear coat finish on top of your candy, and you'll be fine.
I'm real happy with the way the project turned out. Just take your time, nice light coats, build up the layers of paint, and you'll be fine. Just make sure you give it a good cleaning in the beginning so you don't have any issues like I did. Good luck. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hey, and don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook sometimes, Twitter usually, and now Instagram. Rock on. Click here to check out some of the other design and making videos that I have that you might enjoy.